What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another WNBA video. We got ourselves a two-game slate to dive into for Wednesday, September 17th. So we're going to break down and analyze those games. We're going to talk about which way that I'm leaning as far as the points of the spread. And then when it's all said and done, make sure you check down there into that pinned comment. You'll find a link down there that'll send you over to the Guy Boston Sports website. That's where you'll find all of my final plays for these games listed for free. Now, typically right here, we jump over there to the website and recap our plays from the day before, but we are recording this video before those Tuesday night games finish, so we'll recap those plays along with whatever we take here in this video tomorrow night in that video. So let's go ahead and jump into the mix, guys. Smash that like button down there for me if you can. Subscribe if you have not already. Let's jump into the mix, man. It's going to be at 8 p.m. tip-off time for our first game. Phoenix Mercury taking on the New York Liberty. We got the Liberty laying 2.5 in this one. The total is starting to come down. It was at 160.5. I'm seeing it at 159.5 now. Man, look, this was every bit of the exciting game one between these two that we expected it to be. It was a tight back and forth contest with 12 ties, 15 lead changes, clutch buckets from both sides down the stretch. That led us to overtime, and from there, the New York Liberty, they utilized an 8-0 run to take the lead in full control, winning by 7 in the process. The Liberty did shoot the ball better from the field, 41% to Phoenix's 32. They shot better from deep as well, 30% to the Mercury's 23. But a big difference in this one was the battle on the glass, man. The Liberty absolutely crushed Phoenix here, 48-31. They doubled up on the Mercury as well on the offensive glass. But Phoenix did limit New York to just 9 second chance points despite those offensive rebounds. Now, New York, they turned it over 21 times to just 11 for the Mercury. And Phoenix outscored the Liberty in points from turnovers by 10 and also on the break, 20-11. They attempted almost double the free throws as New York, and they hit at an 81% rate. The Liberty shot just 66% from the charity stripe in this one. So, all in all, man, there were plenty of things to like about what the Mercury did in game one. They just simply could not hit a bucket down the stretch when they were getting beat down on the glass and in the interior in general, man. And that tends to happen when New York is at full strength, right? Especially their front court. But man, that may not be the case here yet again for game number two. Now, we saw Stewie go down in overtime with a knee injury. And to note, man, it's not the same knee that she hurt earlier this year. And it was a non-contact injury as well. She tried to stay in for the remainder of the game. She went off to the sideline there for a second, like tried to wrap it up or whatnot, and tried to come back in. I think she maybe managed another minute. Then she left the game after that and did not return. She had an MRI on Monday and looked to be in considerable pain, man, when she went down as well. So I had to question how effective she'll be, even if she's able to go here, man. But I just don't think that she's going to be able to bounce back, especially just one game later. I'm having doubts if she's going to come back for the playoffs based off what we saw and her reaction to that injury as well, man. But the Liberty are tough at home for sure, right? 17-5 on the year straight up. Phoenix is reeling as well. They've lost 4 in a row. Backs against the wall here in an elimination game on the road. The Mercury have beaten these Liberty in New York on the year once already, and they did so winning outright by 8, and that was as 11.5-point dogs. Now, that was at the beginning of the year, back in June, so, keep that in mind. They've been cold offensively, right? Going through some ruts for stretches, but in a win or go home type of situation like they're in here, I think we see a better shooting effort. But also, man, if Stewie can't go, which, like I said, I really don't think she'll be able to, the advantages New York had down low in the interior for game one starts to balance back out, right? So I'm going to lean in Phoenix's direction here on the side. New York has had 5 different stretches this year where they've won at least 6 or 7 of their prior 8 games. And in those 5 occurrences, man, they've gone 1-4 straight up, 0-5 against the spread. For the total, the Liberty have slowed down to a grinding halt to close out the year, man. Second from last for pace. They've gone 16-4 to the under in their last 20 games. Unders have hit 8 of each of these teams' last 10 games as well, 3 in a row head-to-head between these two. The Mercury have been made road dogs in 12 different games this year. The total pushed once and went over twice, and then it went under 9 times out of those 12. And then in 11 of the Liberty's last 15 games at home that they've been made favorites, they've also hit to the under. The game one landed at just 145, and that one went to overtime. They landed at 143 the prior meeting before, so it's hard to look anywhere but an under in this one as well. With that line sitting where it is, though, with everything that we just said, and then that line still coming out where it's at, opening up at 160.5 is a little questionable there, man. Something smells a little trappy here, but yeah, I would be leaning under if I'm looking at the total on this one. Before we dive into the second game, I do want to take just a second to talk to you guys about No Vig. You'll be able to find a link down there in the description and in the pinned comment that'll help you sign up and get yourself a bonus when you do. Now, if you have not dabbled into peer-to-peer exchanges, man, you are missing out. Because using No Vig, it allows you to get unbeatable prices and lines on just about every game. And you might ask why. Well, it's because other users are setting the line, they're setting the odds. You're competing with the other users instead of the big book. Now, peer to peer, it's growing at a crazy rate, guys. You don't want to be late to this, so sign up for No Vig today. Use the link in the description, like I said, down in the pinned comment as well. And when you use that link, you'll get yourself a nice sign up bonus of up to $50. So check it out, guys. It operates just like your normal book, but at better lines with better prices. The next up, going to be a 10 p.m. tip-off time for the second game on the evening. We're looking at the Minnesota Lynx traveling out west to take on the Golden State Valkyries. Now, the Lynx are laying 10.5 in this one. Total coming down in this one as well, sitting at 151.5 now. Now, game one was the fifth meeting between these two. It was also the fifth win for the Lynx on the season. They did so in commanding fashion, 101-72. They shot the ball better from the field and from deep, 51% and 41% respectively, to just 33 and 29% for the Valkyries. Minnesota won the battle on the glass, out rebounding Golden State by 10. They dominated inside in general as well. Facing the Valkyries team, man, that allowed the fewest points scored from the paint, not only in their last five, but just over the course of the whole season as well. The Lynx still outscored Golden State 44-18 down low. Now, they dished out 25 assists to just 11 turnovers, while the Valkyries coughed it up 16 times and managed only 17 assists themselves. And, it's for a simple reason. We've talked about it all season long. This Lynx defense is elite, right? First for defensive rating on the year overall, and also when playing on the road. Now, this Valkyries team, they shoot a ton of threes, man. They're putting up the most attempts in the league. They're hitting at the third lowest percentage in the W, and even at home, it doesn't get much better. They're still fourth from last when it comes to three-point shooting percentage. Now, Lynx are giving up the fifth fewest three-pointers and at the third lowest percentage over their last 5 games. And looking at these two head-to-head, over the course of those 5 games, the Valkyries have put up 159 three-point attempts. That's 32 threes per game, above their season average, their league-leading season average, as mentioned. And also, as mentioned, they're converting only 41 of those for just 25% shooting, well below their season average that is already third worst in the W. And then there's no new news on Tiffany Hayes. She's listed as a game time decision currently. In her return, it could help boost this Valkyries offensive attack. I'm playing at home as well, although, not at the usual Chase Arena, but, still in front of their home fan base. That should help as well. But man, the Lynx have not only beaten Golden State in each of these 5 head-to-heads so far, but done so by an average margin of victory of 15 points per game, winning by double digits in 4 of those 5 wins. And Golden State has covered in each game at home so far in these meetings. But this is the playoffs, man, and these Lynx are a force. Their mission is clear. It was on full display in game one, man. They are out for blood, right? They're out to avenge that WNBA Finals loss from last season. Like I said, on clear display there in game one, man. They are the best team in the W. And while the Valkyries have been fun and exciting, in their first year of existence, I think that we see the Lynx take care of business and win this one pretty soundly, getting the sweep and the cover. I'm going to lean with Minnesota on the side here. Looking at the total, they did fly up and over this number in game one, man. And the Lynx have been playing faster as the season has gone on. 10th on the year for pace, but over the last 5, sitting at 6th. Now, in terms of tempo for each of the game ones in these playoffs so far, these two played to the fastest pace. This line, though, it's low, and it feels crazy low with how high the total landed in game one, but it's hard to ignore. The Valkyries hitting to the under in 5 of their last 7 games, the Lynx in 4 of their last 6, and then 3 in a row head-to-head between these two before that game one meeting. I think things calm back down here, man, as far as the tempo is concerned, and I really think we see Minnesota's defense locked down here in this closeout game. I just don't think Golden State has enough offensively, and they've been in a rut as well. So give me an under looking at this one.